What's up, peeps? Happy Juneteenth. Happy Father's Day. We're going to get all that out the way before I start talking, because once I start talking, I'm going to forget to do all that. Happy Father's Day. Happy Juneteenth. Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. Hope it's a long weekend for you. And your employment isn't calling you in on Monday. But thanks for joining us. OTAs are over. Training camp starts for the Philadelphia Eagles. They report on, looks like July 25th, and there is seemingly nothing going on. So started hanging out with some friends, started talking to some friends, and we started talking a little football. We came to share a little joy with you guys before we start this long weekend and things of that nature, because we miss you. We haven't done a broadcast live since before the Super Bowl. So since the Super Bowl, you haven't heard me rant about the Super Bowl. We took it on the chin. We understand. The greatest Eagles team of all time potentially became the most disappointing Eagles team of all time. Let's not forget what they did, though. NFC champions, great season, set all kinds of records. There are records for everything now. Now you got records for the guy who had the most touchdowns in the first quarter of a week 3 game. First, we were just keeping up with touchdowns, interceptions, and things of that nature. Now, with next-gen stats, Pro Football Focus, and all kinds of other things, you can keep up with just about everything. 70 sacks, NFL record. First against the pass. Got to be proud of that. 14 wins, most in franchise history. Sadly, we were not able to close the deal and things of that nature, but it is what it is. We still love this team. And for those of you who are part of the diehard nation that is the Bird Gang, we will bounce back. This is part of being a Philadelphia sports fan. I watched Joe Carter hit the home run on the Phillies. I was there for all those NFC Championship game losses. I remember the Fog Bowl. I was a child at a barbershop with my father. And I will sit here and say, now that I'm thinking about it, this one stings the most. This one stings the most because this felt like the one we were supposed to win. But respect to my family at Fansided, Arrowhead Addict, all you guys, Matt Connor, I love you. I have never discussed the Super Bowl since its close, other than in text, but there are a few things we need to address. The field. Yeah, this is petty. This is water under the bridge. This is old news. I don't care. I never got to talk about this, so we're going to do it now. The field. Done by a Chiefs fan. One team was slipping and sliding. It wasn't the Kansas City Chiefs. Coincidence? Or like my nephew used to say, coinky dink? I think not. We'll skip all that. And I'm going to take you from the beginning of the game to the fourth quarter. The holding call. Now that you've had time to calm down, now that you've had time to think about it, how do you feel about the holding call now? We all know it was holding. James Bradbury said it was holding. My problem has never been whether or not it was holding or not. My question is why we call holding in the most crucial point of the game when holding has been going on for the entire contest and holding's not been called so far. They didn't call holding when guys were slipping and sliding all over the field like they were playing on a slip and slide, and Kansas City Chiefs offensive linemen were laying on top of Philadelphia Eagles defensive linemen. That's a penalty. You can't do that either. Wasn't called. Holding, grabbing, tugging was going on the entire game, and we decided to call it at the most crucial point in the game in the fourth quarter with the game on the line. That's the problem I have with it. James Harden will probably be a Sixer again. God help us all. James Harden, for most of his career, has had 2 moves. One of them is traveling. We allow him to get away with traveling because we know that's just what James Harden does. What if in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, with 3 seconds left on the clock, we finally called James Harden for traveling? What if in every baseball game, there's now a pitching clock, which I still don't seem to understand, but it does help the game move faster. With every game in baseball, the umpire establishes a strike zone. It may take us an inning or 2 to get used to it, but once the strike zone is established, it is the strike zone. You cannot change the strike zone. We understand that. What if in Game 7 of the World Series, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th with the home team up to bat, all of a sudden we start calling strikes that used to be balls? That is what happened with James Bradbury. He sat there and told you, yeah, I was holding. I thought they let me get away with it. Now, why would James say that? I don't know, perhaps because holding was allowed up until that point. It didn't obstruct the play. Patrick Mahomes threw the ball damn near 5 years out of bounds. Didn't stop anything from happening that would have happened anyway. But it is what it is. I'm off my soapbox. And now that I've addressed it publicly, I probably won't go back to it again until I'm talking to a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And I love most of y'all. I have a lot of family in Missouri, got a lot of friends in Missouri, love Missouri to death. But some of you Chiefs fans, I'm going to be honest with you. If it wasn't for Arrowhead Addict and Matt Connor and even a good dear friend of mine, Jackie, my family in Missouri, I think all of y'all were crazy. But I'm going to let it be. I'm going to let it ride. We're going to move on because we're just trying to celebrate football as we move into the summertime and a month and 9 days with no Eagles stuff to do. But hang out with us. Chill out. Hang out on Inside the Eagles. Check us out every day like you guys have been doing. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ring that bell like the Phillies. And make sure you stay up to date for all the updates we have going on. But I've said my piece. And I'm kidding around, sort of. But Chiefs fans, come on, I need y'all to do better. You aren't quite as bad as the San Francisco 49ers, but some of this is getting bad. With that being said, I bring on my brother from another mother, my sister from another mister, Jackie. What's going on?
How you doing?
Good.
Miss you guys.
Listen, nobody misses me. I'm just a fella. What are you gonna do about it?
Well, I figure we try to be entertaining tonight. We're gonna try to keep some people upbeat, happy, things of that nature. Because even though we're going into a long weekend, I've been talking to a lot of people. People are still struggling with this loss. People are dealing with everything that goes on with life. I'm not saying that all my friends are depressed, but mental health is real, and we subscribe to making sure that, we keep everybody upbeat and on the right path towards happiness. And nothing makes us happy than talking a little bit Eagles football. So
that's it.
What's up going on with you guys? How you guys been? What you got planned for the weekend?
Oh, man, I think tomorrow. I think I'm gonna have a pool day tomorrow, and then I got my dad's stuff in the morning. Then I got my wife's dad's stuff in the evening. It's gonna be a weekend for me. It's not pretty low key. Pretty low key.
Jackie.
Really? I mean, not too much. Just chilling and then trying to get some writing done. And then I guess on Father's Day, be hanging out with my dad and, just trying to do all that stuff kind of. And yeah.
I'm going to be plugged in all weekend. The Inside the Eagles Facebook, Twitter pages, make sure you guys hang out on those as well. But social media can be taxing, man. Like some of the stuff people say to me, man, it takes everything I have not to respond in anger. But okay, so let's talk a little Eagles football. How you guys dealing after the Super Bowl, Jackie? I know you're probably pretty good, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know if people want to hear my point of view because I'm a Chiefs fan. So I don't think they want to hear that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Slap the muzzle on Jackie for a few minutes. How you doing, Jake? How you feeling after this loss, man?
You started it off saying that you took it in the chin. I did not. That was a swift kick in the nuts, man. That was not me taking it in the chin. I've not taken that. And you said that you're going to get past it too. I'm also not going to do that. I'm petty. I'm small. That's my if I going back to what year was that? Was that 2019 with the Jadeveon Clowney hit? I still don't like Jadeveon Clowney. I still I'm gonna hold it against if I saw Jadeveon Clowney in real life, I would punch him. He would beat me, probably to death. But at least he knows that I don't like him. So I'm gonna bottle this rage up, and I'll do something with it. Probably.
At least if he beats you up, man, at least you got a payday coming.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I would deserve it, and I instigated it, so I get that. But also, man, I'm gonna hold on to it for a very long time.
You know what I think about though? The game kind of unfolded exactly like Super Bowl 52. It just didn't turn out the same way. We go into halftime up 10. Wasn't the cleanest game, but you're feeling pretty good about our chances when you go up 10. Then all of a sudden, the other team wakes up on offense. becomes impossible to stop anything, which is another reason why the Eagles lost. If we keep it real, Eagles coaching staff got out coached, as we know, but that pretty much happened in Super Bowl 52. And they actually gave up more points in Super Bowl 52. But the one thing that was missing, the defense made one stop. All we needed was one stop. The Jalen Hurts fumble. If that doesn't happen, the Eagles are probably Super Bowl champions for a second time. If they stop one of those drives, Eagles are probably Super Bowl champions for the second time. If the James Bradbury call doesn't happen, there's a little more time on the clock. Maybe Jalen gets him down at least to kick a field goal to tie it in overtime, or maybe the touchdown to win. But none of those things happen. We got a Brandon Graham sack, and most famous strip sack in football history, as far as I'm concerned, even better than the Tuck rule, but just didn't get that break to go our way.
And I think that's why it's such a kick in the nuts, is that it was such a phenomenal game. And it just went the wrong. It's like I don't want to try to give them like any emotion or any credit for being people, but like the Patriots fans with Tom Brady having as good of a game that he had in Super Bowl 52, man, Jalen had the best game ever, man. And then it just it's crying and throwing up. That's me. That's tough. That's why it hurts. That's why. I don't know. You got me. It's June and I'm feeling emotions again, and I don't like that. I don't want that.
Jackie, I see your wheels turning. What are you thinking?
Well, the one thing is I can say is like to me, or at least when I was watching, it was definitely a stressful game. Like I know, like because like I mean, even though like the Chiefs were down 10 at halftime, like I mean, and I like. Look, the Chiefs have a history of coming back, like from double digits, in the past, and then just and like they did it recently. I'm like, that's the thing. Like, even though I was like, I knew they could come back, like it was still to me stressful, even when they were coming back, like because like Jalen was having a good game, and it was just funny. It worked in reverse for the Eagles because just like you were saying about Tom Brady. Well, yeah, Jalen had his best game of his career, and then the Eagles lost. Whereas, Mahomes turned it on in the second half, but he didn't have his best game, but he turned it on in the second half where he just didn't miss. And then the running game came on, too.
Point. Shout out Kendrick Banks. He says, we lost because of the defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon. And Kendrick is right, man. We can't leave Jonathan Gannon out. Like, did some good stuff, did some bad stuff, but for all he accomplished and everything, his legacy will always be getting out coached by Andy Reid in the Super Bowl, which I guess we shouldn't have seen coming. Andy Reid has probably forgotten more about football than Jonathan Gannon's ever known.
Well, and also they hired that guy Vic Fangio. That was probably a bad move too, because all you heard was, "Oh, well, he knows Mahomes." Yeah, but he never beat him, so it really wasn't an advantage. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh.
Counterpoint. Vic Fangio's got a awesome name, so how do you not hire him?
Yeah,
he'd actually be from just putting 2 and 2 together and reading between lines. He'd actually be the Eagles' defensive coordinator had certain things not going a certain direction and things of that nature. And now we got Darius Slay's nemesis.
Yeah.
I saw that, right?
Yeah. They're saying that they're cordial. You're not cordial. Darius Slay's not cordial. You're not cordial. Don't say cordial. You hate that guy. Hate that guy. If you're gonna hate him, then hate him. Stick to your guns, man.
I think if you sit here and you say cordial in a setting like that, that pretty much tells us, of all the things you can say, cordial still tells me something's wrong. We're cordial, like it's like we speak, but that's pretty much all it is.
Yeah, nobody says cordial when they mean it.
Nobody's punched his lights out yet, but
no, not that we know of.
All right, but other coaching hires. So Jonathan Gannon's gone. That will get a few hallelujahs from Eagles Nation and the city of brotherly love. And he's been replaced with Sean Desai. I'm gonna be honest with you. I said this on another platform. I didn't know who Sean Desai was other than seeing his name before. I remember seeing his name with the Bears, but didn't watch enough Bears football to actually pay attention to what was going on. He's a new defensive coordinator, and took us a while to get to see him live and in the press conference, but now that I've seen Sean Desai talk, I actually like what he's saying. I like this concept of violence that we're going to feel through the television. Like, Eagles fans have been waiting to hear that for a while.
Yeah, give me that. That's what I'm here for. That being said, talk is cheap. But you know, starting off saying the right things. That's a good way to get me on your side. I'm all for that. If a defensive coordinator drops the V word, if he's going to say violent, I'm like, okay, I'm in on this guy. This guy, give me that Halo 3 style violence. Make me feel that. I like that. I'm a big fan of that.
I'm a fan of violence and I support it.
There you go.
So we say a little bit more defense, and I'm gonna pose this question to you, Jackie, because me and Jake have a tendency to dominate the conversation, and you're much more polite than we are. But
I apologize.
Defensively, that's kind of where we were let down in the Super Bowl. 35 points given up, unable to make a stop at any point during the second half, unable to come up with that big stop when we needed or some kind of spectacular play. Eagles go out and go very defensive heavy in the NFL draft. First 2 picks, first round, they get Jalen Carter and they get Nolan Smith. I would have been happy with either one of them. I personally would have been happy with Nolan Smith in the top 10. We got him at 30. I think that's a bonus. You get Keely Ringo around 3. You got Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean last year. Sidney Brown, who I think is going to be a whole lot better than a lot of people are giving him credit for, the rookie safety out of Illinois. What do you think about this defense as we head into training camp, Jake?
Well, like the thing I think is the Eagles defense, when they're at their best, they're aggressive and they get a lot of sacks, and then so I hope they stay kind of how they like. I hope they kind of have the same fire they had last year, because I mean, you saw the year before is like they didn't have a lot of sacks, and then and the defense was the same. When they can get a lot of sacks or pressures the quarterback, I think they'll do well, and that, I mean, that's why they loaded up on so many Georgia guys. So they wanted they want to continue this, and and I hope these young guys can continue it, because it just and I think too, as as a fan, I mean, at least I do, even when I watch the Chiefs or anything, or I like seeing the defense getting at the quarterback. I mean, just for example, is when the Chiefs played the Bengals. I know this is kind of off topic, but I like when the defense gets to the quarterback so scared where he's throwing in the dirt before the defenders come, because when Chris Jones kept coming at Joe Burrow in that game, he was throwing out the dirt, and that's what I like. And I mean, you don't think when Hassan Reddick was playing in the 49ers, you don't think that was kind of the same way after he got hurt? Not even Josh Johnson didn't want to, play with those boys anymore. And I hope they stay like that. I don't know if because different coordinators do different things, but to me, at any time under Andy Reid or back in the Buddy Ryan days, they've always been at their best when their defense is just kind of let them all go and get and just get all the pressure.
I'm with you. Well, how are you feeling about this Georgia thing? Jordan Davis last year probably didn't do statistically what a lot of people were hoping for, but I think in valuing Jordan Davis, particularly in this offense, we're not going to be able to. Sacks are cool. I think we like to see sacks from defensive linemen. Pressures are cool. I think we like to see those. I think Jordan Davis, a lot of his power lies in creating opportunities for other people. I also think that the stats will come. It's hard to have this many playmakers on the defensive side of the ball and him not do some spectacular things or have some wild moments and things of that nature. But I really am excited about what we're going to get from him in year 2. I like what he did in year 1, whether there was a lack of statistical production to substantiate what he was doing or not. Nakobe Dean, I still believe in Nakobe Dean. I know a lot of people are worried. I think he's going to be better than what he is. If we can somehow manufacture what the guys were doing in Georgia, because this is how I look at it. Every year we draft guys. For 2 years, Georgia was the most dominant defensive presence in college football and things of that nature. If those same guys from the offensive side of the field on other teams are now transitioning to the NFL, and they couldn't do much with Georgia at the collegiate level, Jake, is it safe to say that they're not going to be able to do with these guys as professionals either?
I mean, it feels like it is. right? Like and you say that it was a dominant defense for 2 years. It's the most dominant college defense, I would say, in history, man. Like it's not just like this was a couple of good fellas from a good team. Like they were the team. So I mean, again, you're at a higher level now. Everybody that you're playing, for the most, maybe not everybody. That was a dumb thing to say, but a lot of people that you're playing, they are going to be the people that could have been on that Georgia team. I think it is safe to say that they're going to be a powerhouse like that. I think that there's a lot to be said with having the comfortability of being next to the guys that you were next to for 2-3 years in college. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds good, and I'm here for that. I'm here for that until we see it. But I'm all good with imagining that. That's awesome. That puts me in a good headspace. I love that.
Now, I'm feeling like it translates.
Now my question. Okay, you mentioned the Jordan Davis thing, and I think one thing that kind of goes a little bit understated is that he spent it. So is when did they? Was that like week 9 when they got or week 10 when they got Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh? What year or what week was that?
Whenever he got hurt in the Pittsburgh game, right? And then whenever that happened, let me pull that up now.
So, but he got to spend. Jordan Davis got to spend half of his season, half of his rookie year, learning from. I mean, Ndamukong Suh, one of the best to ever do it. Linval Joseph performed like he's learning from these guys. So, there's in my mind, there's no way that he's gonna have a repeat of last year. I mean, and even then, there's gonna be less depth. So. Good thing or bad thing, him getting more playing time. I mean, we saw with Fletch how when he had less playing time, he was doing a lot better. He's older, obviously, so I'm curious to see how the amount of playing time is actually going to affect Jordan Davis. But in my mind, he's a young guy. I think that having that less depth is actually going to be a benefit for him. Now, I have a question for you guys. So Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. Both old guys. I don't think that I think it is a non-zero chance that these guys do come back to this team. Okay, because like you see all these old guys, you see Brandon Graham saying that he wants to stick around for another year because he believes in Jalen. You see Darius Slay saying he believes in Jalen. Those two dudes, Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, played with a lot of people. I would imagine that they probably see the same thing in Jalen, saying, hey, we can win a championship with this guy. I mean, they have the experience being with people. Do you guys think that there's going to be a chance that these guys do come back? I mean, they're not going to go to OTAs. They're old guys. Why the hell would they go to OTAs for? I think that they could still come back.
I doubt it. Fletch is going to be here. Like you said, keeping him fresh and healthy has extended him at least a couple more seasons or so. Last season, I think, being his best in quite some time, since I think maybe the last Pro Bowl year. Jordan Davis, I think he's going to be a stud. I think Jordan Davis becomes even more impressive spending more time next to Fletcher Cox and put him next to Jalen Carter. I mean, who do you block?
Right.
Milton Williams, former third rounder. I like Milton Williams. I think he kind of got lost in the shuffle with all of those old guys last season. And I don't know how many defensive tackles they're keeping. Like, what did they do with Kentavious Street? Does Moro Jomo make the team? So they have a pretty nice position, even with losing Javon Hargrave and his production. I think the combination of everybody else will be fine. But not answering your question, but to answer your question, I don't see it. Ndamukong Suh is one of the game's great mercenaries now.
Oh, yeah.
We'll probably see him, same type scenario mid-season if there's a serious injury to somebody and that injury comes, God forbid, to the Philadelphia Eagles, maybe. But Linval was impressive. And looks like, as we mentioned, Jordan Davis was hurt in week 8 during the Pittsburgh Steelers game.
Yeah.
And stuff, and
halfway through.
Kind of brought in again after that. But, yeah, man, I'm excited. But, nah, I just don't see it. What about you, Jackie?
The only way I ever see like one or either one coming is like mid-season. I don't, because I think they're really trying to get these. I really think they want these young guys to get like a lot of reps. It just seems like this year they really are trying to they want Jordan Davis and all them to kind of start getting in the starting role more. I don't know. That's kind of what I say. How their moves have been going.
Yeah. So as far as depth chart, I guess Fletch and Maybe Jalen Carter. Maybe Fletcher and Jalen Carter start. Jordan Davis in a rotational role. Milton Williams in a rotational role. That's 4 guys there. Then you're talking about Marlon Tuipulotu. How does he heal from his injury? Is he back? What are the plans if he isn't back? Do they then roll with 5 defensive tackles and put Moro Jomo on the field, or do they have another option? Like, it's starting to look like somebody like Kentavia Street, Marlon Tuipulotu, Moro Jomo. Some good guys are not going to make this team.
I mean, you're definitely not wrong about that. But I mean, we did see that when they did have that huge number of guys with all that depth, that people were playing better when they didn't have to be out there all the time. I mean, that's the thing that Commanders are in hell with, that where they have like 4 guys and these are the guys that have to play, and then they are good until they get tired, and then they're not good. They don't have depth there. So I think keeping all those guys, I mean, it sucks because they take up roster spots, but man, if you want to try to repeat that 70 or get close to or exceed that 70 sack thing, seems like keeping that depth there is going to be pretty key to that.
They're not getting 70 sacks again, though, are they?
Man, listen. I just wrote about this today. If Jonathan Gannon is a complete moron, and if you can get that defense to get 70 sacks, somebody who's not a moron can absolutely get more than 70 sacks.
I'm liking it, man. I'm not going to complain if they do it. Definitely not going to complain if they do it. It's a tough ask, but I'm with you. Like, I'm not going to say it can't be done. Like, I doubt it. Like, those special seasons are special seasons, and records are records for a reason and stuff, but it'll be hard to duplicate. But
I'm ready to get hurt again,
if
baby.
we have a slight drop off in their 60, I'm not going to complain either.
Yeah, can't be mad about that.
Speaking of sacks, I want to talk about Nolan Smith, man. Like, all I want to talk about is Nolan Smith. Like, we're going to do a show, and the show is going to be Nolan Smith show. We're going to try to see if we can find Nolan Smith and get Nolan Smith on the show. Nolan Smith, yes, and I wrote about this today. Nolan Smith, to me, has become, if Jalen Hurts could somehow morph into an alter ego, do Superman, be Clark Kent, go into the phone booth, change clothes, come out with the blue and red tights on, his alter ego, to me, would be Nolan Smith. He'd be a defensive guy where he can go smack some people, and he'd be Nolan Smith. I look at Nolan Smith, man, I try to find as much content on this dude as I can. If I see this dude talk on a Twitter post, I'm in for it. If I see somebody catch a highlight of him doing anything, somebody could post a tweet of Nolan Smith walking down the street, and I think I'll be satisfied.
Nolan Smith is a good name.
I'm watching him in that last OTA practice, man. The violence, there's that word again, with when he goes through drills, plays every drill like his last. These rookies, man, they come into the league, they want to party a little bit. If I'm a rookie and I'm going to Vegas, I'm going to Vegas to party. He went to Vegas to work. He went and hung out with Von Miller, who he actually name dropped in his introductory press conference. He told us that, Von Miller was somebody that he studied. Von Miller was somebody he wanted to pattern some of his game after. And here he is now working out with Von Miller in Vegas. Wow. I know a lot of guys are at mandatory minicamp. The Eagles have canceled theirs, but guys are going to Vegas to party. He's going to Vegas to work. I like this dude. And I think he got that Jackie, I think he got that Jalen Hurts mindset. I think if you could clone Jalen Hurts and make him a defensive football player, I think he'd be Nolan Smith. These are like some of the most mature 20-year-olds I think I've ever seen.
Well, but that's who you want. I mean, because I know it's like Jalen Hurts. I mean, that's what every coach wants. That's what every team wants. I mean, and then Nolan. I know, like, some people weren't sure about him last year, but I don't think he exactly got a fair chance last year. Like, because the Eagles had so many people last year that he didn't really need to have. He didn't have to be the guy. He didn't have to really step up because they had so many other pieces. But I think this year he'll definitely get that chance because, like I said, it seems like they're going to try to really see what they have in these young guys this year.
We talking about Nolan Smith. He's a rookie, right? I mean, Nolan or?
Oh no, was he? Oh wait, not Nolan. No, I'm trying to think of someone. It was not. Yeah, not Nolan Smith.
You're still thinking of Kobe, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking of who was the linebacker last year that got some play?
You're thinking of Kobe. You're thinking of
Kobe. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, I know. I was like,
the names kind of run together. They all played at Georgia. I get it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of because I was like, yeah, because I was thinking that like his first name would start with the N. I was like, oh
Yeah,
yeah.
good point though. I think Nakobe being able to step into the limelight and stuff, having a year to learn, same type of situation that Jake was talking about as far as defensive tackles, being behind TJ, who I'm gonna miss TJ. Kaiser, you're losing your 2 top tacklers from last year's roster and things of that nature, but you got 2 new great guys stepping in, things of that nature. I think Nolan's gonna be a beast. Like everybody's telling me how small he is. I saw Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith is not small.
Did you see that picture of him?
Nolan Smith is not a small dude.
That picture of him where he's like, he was just coming around like the edge of like a tackling dummy or something like that. But I'm not a doctor. It seems unhealthy how many veins that guy has. He's just ripped. He's shredded. It's incredible. It's incredible to see that, man. Like there was a picture. I don't know if they did any editing to it or anything like that. But good God, the guy's a beast. The guy's an absolute beast. I don't know where he looks small. Maybe it's because he wears glasses and people are like, oh, that guy's a nerd. He can't play. No. You're dumb. You're dumb and you're wrong for that. He's an animal. Cannot wait for him. Also, he has the same glasses as me, which is sick too. I like that for him.
Y'all give me a percentage. What's the percentage? Because I'm going to give one of them Rookie of the Year now, since we got screwed out of all the postseason awards last year. Nolan Smith or Jalen Carter, my defensive Rookie of the Year. That's what I'm rocking with. I'm going ahead and make that prediction now. But what are the chances Nolan Smith takes defensive Rookie of the Year instead of Jalen Carter, the higher draft pick? What are you thinking?
I think that's pretty high. I mean,
give me a percentage. What you thinking?
Percentage? So we're saying 100%. So we're saying
what's the percentage chance? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say there's a 75% chance if one of those guys win it ends up being Nolan Smith because of the wild plays, because of the sacks. Because I mean, they told me this guy was Khalil Mack when he was coming out of high school, the top ranked guy in the country. They told me going into the draft he was Hassan Reddick. So you calling the guy Hassan Reddick, you call the guy Khalil Mack, and he tells me he patterns his game out to Von Miller and he's going to work out with Von Miller. I'm all in. He's my defensive Rookie of the Year now.
Yeah, I'm absolutely taking Nolan Smith over Jalen Carter. I mean, because number one, it's more of a kind of a hammer in the nail kind of a position. Like you get Jalen Carter in the middle. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to be that productive in the middle like that. That being said, Jalen Carter is also an animal, but with Nolan Smith coming off the edge, if you're saying that he's going to be, like you just said, like Hassan Reddick should have been Defensive Player of the Year last year. If we can get a guy that's a fraction of that as a rookie, yeah, for sure. I'd definitely go Nolan Smith over Jalen Carter.
All right, I said I was done talking about the past and being petty. I lied. Last year's postseason awards. Sorry, Jackie. Jalen Hurts is my MVP. And if nothing else, I think he proved he was the MVP by being missing. Once we lost Jalen Hurts for that Dallas Cowboys game, does anybody believe we lose to the New Orleans Saints if Jalen Hurts is playing? I think most valuable player has become best quarterback. Heisman Trophy has become best skill player in college football. MVP has become best quarterback or the quarterback of the best football team. That's what the MVP now. And we've lost the word valuable. When we mention valuable, okay, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is valuable. Obviously. We'd be stupid to say Patrick Mahomes isn't valuable. Last year, I think for what we saw, what was expected of Jalen, what we said Jalen couldn't become, I think Jalen Hurts is my MVP. I'm sticking to that. Coach of the Year, got to be Nick Sirianni. You can't be Giants fans, if you're listening, I don't care. I hate the Giants. I'm old school, and I'm a little bit older than y'all. I hate the Giants more than I hate the Cowboys. You just don't have a reason to hate the Giants because we always beat the Giants. The disdain isn't what it used to be because the games, we expect to beat the Giants twice a year. But I'm old school, old Eagles fans like me. We hate the Giants more than we hate the Cowboys. I hate both of them, but I hate the Giants a little bit more. Brian Daboll, Coach of the Year. I've still lost on this one. I'm not even going to sit there and say that this is a chance or I can understand it. The guy's predicted to finish third or fourth in his division. He finishes third in his division. Yes, he made the playoffs. They won 9 games, but he finished third in his division. In what world do we live in now that you have to be the best player or the best quarterback to win MVP, but the Coach of the Year only has to come in third place? Comeback Player of the Year. Love the Geno Smith story. I like Geno Smith. Comeback player of the year is Brandon Graham. Torn Achilles, came back, double-digit sacks for the first time in his career. I know they say that we can get on this conspiracy sometimes, and we're like, nobody likes us and we don't care. Maybe we care a little bit, but nobody likes us. And I'm starting to feel a little something because Javon Hargrave should have been a Pro Bowler. I don't care if we got this. We're approaching 10 Pro Bowlers. Give me all the Pro Bowlers. Javon Hargrave should have been a Pro Bowler. James Bradbury is a second-team All-Pro. I'll take that, but if you're a second-team All-Pro, shouldn't you also be a Pro Bowler? Brian Daboll, Coach of the Year. No. Comeback Player of the Year was Brandon Graham. MVP was Jalen Hurts. We're taking all the postseason awards. Coach of the Year was Nick Sirianni. Who am I missing? Defensive Player of the Year, Hassan Reddick over Nick Bosa.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't believe that, and I know it's a regular season award, but look at what Hassan Reddick did in the postseason as opposed to what Nick Bosa did in the postseason. Did Nick Bosa have a sack in the postseason? He didn't, did he?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
If he did, he did it against Dallas, but I don't remember him doing it against Dallas either.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't think he did. I'm gonna look it up now. I don't think he got a sack in the postseason. Yeah. You guys talk. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, you're talking about James Bradbury being a Pro Bowl guy. I've this year specifically has gotten me. I'm all out on the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl, I'm all out. You got Snoop Huntley being a Pro Bowler for the AFC. Get out of town. What are you talking about? It just doesn't mean anything anymore. You're 100% right with if you're second team All Pro, you should be a Pro Bowler. The other thing though is talking about Geno Smith. What did he have we found out what he came back from? Because I'm again
wasn't sucking. You come back from sucking.
Yeah, then most improved player or something like that. Have somebody tweet about him. Don't give him an award, you loser. What are you talking about? Brandon Graham actually was productive in a very important way. Let's get out of it. Coming back from a debilitating injury. What was he, 33 or 34 when that happened? That's incredible. I tore my ACL 2 weeks after I turned 30, and I'm still in pain and complain about it all the time. For him to be able to do an Achilles and come back and get 10, 11 sacks, this is ridiculous. And then they didn't give him that award. I'm like, okay, it's going to be Brandon Graham winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year. They're not going to give it to both of them. And then it goes to frickin' Dak, and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
get out of town with this. Get out of town. You get out of here.
All right, so I looked it up. Hassan Reddick during the postseason, 3 games he appeared in, 9 total tackles, 7 of them were solo, 6 quarterback hits, 3.5 sacks, forced fumble recovery. Nick Bosa appeared in 3 games. One of them was a wild card game. And as we know, Hassan Reddick's 3rd game was the Super Bowl. So two different situations, obviously, but
right.
More tackles, 11 combined tackles, 8 solo tackles, fewer quarterback hits. He had 1 of those. He had 4 tackles for a loss. He had 0 sacks.
Yeah.
And just eyeball test, if we're just talking about what they did in the regular season, I still think Hassan Reddick had a better regular season than Nick Bosa did. So they're going to call us homers for that, but who cares? It's the truth.
Yeah, it was one of those things where that depth actually did end up hurting Hassan Reddick a little bit there.
40 winders.
Helped as much as the depth on that D line did help Fletch. That depth on the edge there kind of took that away from Hassan. I'm not going to complain because it's successful, but what do you got? What are we talking about? Who's coming up? Is it the AP coming up with these awards? Get out of town. Get out of town. I'm done with that.
All right, so we talked about a couple of the guys. How do you guys feel about this team getting older? James Bradbury is good. James Bradbury isn't 30 yet, but he will turn 30 during the offseason. Darius Slay is well past 30, which is not well past 30, but he's been 30 long enough for us to start wondering about whether or not there'll be some deterioration. And I love Slay. My only criticism of Slay is I don't think he takes criticism well. Slay just wants to hear about how great he is, but I love Slay. Jennifer Slay is amazing, like showing up at tailgating events, bringing that banana pudding and things of that nature. Jennifer Slay is the greatest. We all need a Jennifer Slay in our lives. And Jackie, you need the male version of Jennifer Slay in your life or whatever. But we all can benefit from having a Jennifer Slay and marrying her. But amazing couple. Dare say an amazing player, but clearly wasn't the guy towards the end of the season that he was at the beginning of the season. He trailed off a little bit, if we're being honest. James Bradbury is solid all year. They're amazing as a combo. Avonte Maddox, I love. Avonte Maddox just can't stay healthy, and I don't know if he ever will with his playing style. The way he plays, he's just not going to play 17 games during the course of the season. We mentioned Fletch. Fletch is getting old. Brandon Graham, how much longer can he perform at the level he is? Then you move to the offensive side of the ball. Lane Johnson is a beast. Hasn't given up a sack since 2020. Jason Kelce is Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce won't play forever, and that's sad to think about the fact that one day there'll be life without Jason Kelce. But I personally believe that Jason Kelce could play forever if he wants to. But at a lot of these key positions, we got some old guys. And the questions we're asking is, are the young guys ready to step in? So, I mean, how you feel about this season? Are you expecting any type of deterioration for anybody? Jackie, I'll pitch it to you first.
I think I think what a lot of people think is the weakest right now is their secondary because of kind of like they kept like that is the oldest, but also that was kind of where they got hurt at, at the end of the season there, especially the Super Bowl. And now that they kind of got like Reed Blankenship starting. I don't know if what they're gonna do. I don't know if he's gonna take it. I mean, right now he's in it, but I think like right now that's kind of like the most worrying for the Eagles. If you like the position group, if they're but I mean like the offense, like for like if you think of like older guys, like they don't have too many, so I don't think like and like like you said, Lane Johnson and Jason Kelly, their strengths. They're not really weaknesses. It's not like they're a weak girl, like they're not exactly like their play's not like, deteriorating or anything. So, and I don't think Fletcher Cox, they're not good. He's not gonna be he's the main guy, but he's not they've done with him and Brandon Graham, they've found ways to keep them fresh, with the kind of rotating each of them. So, and that's also why they brought in the younger guys. So they can keep these guys fresh. So I just think the most problem maybe is the secondary because they're not really sure like you said, like Slay, and then just, like what you've seen at the end kind of still worries you. And then you don't know. I mean, you've seen flashes out of Reed Blankenship, but you don't know if he could be a consistent starter.
True. What you thinking, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't like it. I think they're doing a good job of reloading with the Tyler Steen pickup, with the Cam Jurgens, seeing what he's going to be able to do. I do, because I mean it's that offensive line. As far as the old people on the offense go, it is the offensive line. And I like that they are reloading, and I trust Stoutland more than I trust myself. So I for sure think that they're going to be fine there going into the future. I've no worries about that. I do agree with the secondary though, specifically the two older corners, because that's one of those, when it goes bad, man, it's gonna go. When they lose it, they're gonna lose it, because that's like you get a 32-year-old Slay getting burned by a guy who's 22 years old. It's gonna look gnarly, and that's one of those things that's gonna look gnarly for a minute, and you'll be like, oh no, he's 32. That's bad. So that's kind of what I'm worried about. I do like the Keely Ringo pickup, getting these younger guys, but I mean, a cornerback's really a dime a dozen. Who knows what's going to happen until they actually do play. But I like that they are being proactive. That's a great thing that they're able to actually do in this draft, is be able to build and reload a team so that they can be good in the future, rather than teams like Cowboys getting Mozzie Smith, where it seems like people are like other teams were drafting guys in order to beat the Eagles. The Eagles are drafting people in order to be dominant and continue to be dominant in the future. So it is a bummer that these guys are old. It's a bummer that these guys that we know and love are old, but I think I think that they've put themselves in a pretty good spot to be able to be successful in the future. But again, man, time's going to tell. A cornerback, you can be good until you're not good, and that's kind of the frightening thing about all that. But defensive line, like I said, the rotational thing, they've got life there. They've got life there, and Fletch is kind of past his prime, but I do agree he is good to have as the guy there. That's a good leader in that D line room.
Jackie said one thing I like. She was talking about the questions at the cornerback position. I agree with that. I'm gonna take it to the guys the cornerbacks cover on the offensive side of the ball. So I guess we don't have time to talk about both. We were going to talk about both depth and training camp battles and stuff. So we'll probably move on to next week or something of that nature. But as far as the depth is concerned, Jackie's right as well. I think we got some studs at some important positions too, like Jordan Mailata at left tackle. I think it's going to be great for a long time. Landon Dickinson is already a Pro Bowler. Whoever wins this battle between Tyler Steen and Cam Jurgens for the right guard position, thinking it may be Steen. Jason Kelsey, as much as we love him, has always been known as being undersized. Do we put another undersized guy right next to him at right guard? And then you got Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson has always – I don't think he said this, but I think Lane John prefers having a bigger guy to his left.
Yeah, was that Baldy that reported that? I think it was saying that that Lane said that he didn't want to play next to Cam Jurgens. I think
Okay.
Baldy might have been using a little bit of a kind of spinning some words there a little bit. Now that being said, Baldy and Lane are like they're boys. Like
If Baldy said it, I trust it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't. Did Lane Johnson say he doesn't want to play next to Cam Jurgens? I don't think
No, he didn't say that. No, he didn't say that.
Did he say, man, I wish Cam Jurgens weighed 60 more pounds? I'm pretty sure he said that. Pretty sure he said something along those lines.
So we'll see what happens, man. But Tyler Steen is a great pickup in the draft. Like him. I am, however, worried. I think we'll be fine at corner. Avonte Maddox is going to miss time. He's going to get hurt. That's just part of the course. Sounds like Zach McPherson, who they've been trying to mold into a replacement at the outside corner, is probably in competition with Josiah Scott for that backup slot corner role, which is probably a better fit for him anyway. Keely Ringo, the future at outside corner. So they got some guys as some guys go down. I got another question. Is Greedy Williams make this team now? You got all these guys on this squad. We know Darius Slay, Avonte Maddox, James Bradbury, Keely Ringo. We know they're making the team. So they got 11 guys, I think, at the defensive back position, cornerbacks and defensive backs. I think 11 cornerbacks and a defensive back, Tristan McCollum. So 12 guys. You got a lot of guys competing for two spots. So
I think that's where that Zach McPherson going to slot probably plays a part in that, because they're like, hey man, you're not going to make the team if you don't start working on a different position. But yeah, the Greedy Williams thing, man, that's tough for him. he saw Keely Ringo's name come across the board on the draft. He's like, oh damn it.
If I was to place my money, I don't think Greedy Williams is going to lose his spot to an undrafted guy. I don't think he's getting beat out by Josh Jobe or the undrafted guys, but you never know. A lot of guys like Eli Ricks, and I haven't heard much of Greedy Williams' name in practice a whole lot. Media was only allowed to see 2 practices during OTAs, and those were only 50 minutes, so we got to see 2 hours of Eagles. But
if you don't hear a defensive back's name coming from practice, that's probably a good thing for him.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
Nobody's like, oh, he did really good covering AJ. Nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to say Greedy Williams did a really good job. Josh Jobe did a really good job covering a wide receiver. Like, that's just, these two guys are too good for that. Yeah, I mean, the only person whose name came out big from coverage wise in the OTAs was Christian Ellis. So yeah,
Christian Ellis is nice, and they like Christian Ellis a lot last year. Like, he showed his mettle. Outplayed some guys who were drafted, Kyron Johnson. Showed some value on special teams. I looked at it like, I'm gonna pull it back up, but Christian Ellis got obviously more special team snaps and defensive snaps. I'm not sure about the numbers. If I'm wrong, nobody needs to crucify me because you know how fans can get sometimes and sending me all these emails and things of that nature and hit me up on Twitter and tell me I'm stupid. But I'm thinking Christian Ellis somewhere around 100 special team snaps last year and 20 or so defensive snaps. 11 tackles, though. 9 of them were solo. He did what you need guys to do. Reed Blankenship got his opportunity. Nobody thinks C.J. Gardner-Johnson's getting hurt in the Green Bay game. Reed steps right in and picks off a Hall of Famer. He's the only undrafted rookie to do that.
And he's white.
Making the most of, yeah.
And he's white. A white safety? Get out of here. You don't belong here. What are you talking about?
So then you got that component working for him and stuff. But Christian Ellis is making the most of his opportunities, which you like to see. But I'm a little worried about linebacker. If we're talking about two places I'm worried, I'm not necessarily worried about safety. I think Terrell Edmonds is better than people think he's going to be. I think Sidney Brown is going to make a difference immediately, just like Reed Blankenship did. And I think Reed Blankenship is going to be fine as he continues to get some more snaps. Kayvon Wallace, Justin Evans, do they make the team? They keep trying to find Kayvon Wallace's replacement, man. Like, you all look at it now. Kayvon has been here. Kayvon was drafted. And they keep bringing in safeties. Kayvon is always here. We bring in Jaquiski Tart. We bring in Anthony. We bring Andre Sachere back. We bring Terrell Edmonds in. We draft Sidney Brown. Kayvon keeps hanging on. But they keep bringing these safeties in for a reason.
What are they seeing that we are not seeing? Like, why does Kayvon Wallace keep getting the benefit of the doubt? Get out of here. Man is a liability.
Where he was drafted, I believe, and I have seen some flashes from time to time. I look at Kayvon Wallace when I actually do see him contribute, and I'm like, he ain't great. He's never going to be great, but he's not terrible either, though, right?
But when he's terrible, man, it sucks for him because when he's terrible, he's always getting burned, and then they show the replay 5 times, and you're like, wow.
Changing mind, he is terrible at times.
Damn it. It's just always getting cooked, turning the wrong way. What are you doing?
But we've seen how we make defensive back additions late in the offseason. I'm thinking we may see that again. I'm thinking maybe we see an addition at linebacker. I wouldn't be sad if we go out and trade for Patrick Queen or Isaiah Simmons. I'd be happy with that. We'll see if Howie Roseman agrees or anything. But my biggest worry heading into this offseason, wide receiver. A.J. Brown, phenomenal. We know that. Set the franchise record for receiving yards. Devontae Smith, as a rookie, set the rookie franchise record for receiving yards by a wide receiver. And then last year, set the franchise record for catches by a wide receiver. We know the actual franchise record belongs to Zach Ertz. But once you get past them two, they tried to make Quez a slot corner. I think he's more of a backup outside. Excuse me. They made Quez a slot receiver. They tried to transform him into a slot receiver, but I think his best role is probably on the outside if he can move past some of his issues and things of that nature. But he's definitely a drop-off from both of those guys. And Olamide Zaccheaus, not sure, but then we got Greg Ward, Devin Allen, the crash test dummy, the return guy. Every time I see him, I think about those crash test dummy commercials and stuff.
Oh my God, he looks like he's getting shot with an artillery shell every time somebody touches him.
Britton Covey, crash test
explodes. What are you like? Oh my God, your body can't take that, man.
Devin Allen isn't even in camp yet. He's still running track, and I think by the time his story is done right, and that's what he'll end up being, going back to run track. But Joseph Nagata, these guys, Greg Ward.
I'm very curious to see if that 2021 season with Quez is what's his name? Not Fulgham. What was his name? Travis Fulgham. I want to see if that was Travis Fulgham adjacent. Like it seems like that could have just been a flash in the pan. But you know, I'm very biased against Quez Watkins. The lack of competitive going with the 2 interceptions in the second Cowboys game ruined my Christmas.
One of you guys need to write a story. Guys we were expecting stuff out of that just didn't turn out to be what we thought it was going to be. Whoever Travis Fulgham's got to be at the top of that list.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought Travis Fulgham was the guy for 3 weeks.
They fell ass backwards into that one. And then
But didn't he have like the highest selling jersey for like on NFL.com for like a week and a half or something like that? Like he was like the king. He was the king of the castle. And then
he had that great catch against the 49ers. He showed up and showed out against the Steelers. They lost that game, but it wasn't because of Travis Fulgham. And gosh, that was fun for about 3 weeks.
That was sick. I was like, that's my boy. And then, oh, no, he's not.
We need to start brainstorming about that. Maybe that's the story. One-hit wonders or great disappointments and stuff. Travis Fulgham tops the list. But
absolutely.
For those of you who are listening, an hour flew by. Hopefully we brought some joy to your Friday night. It is Friday, right?
Yeah.
Days kind of run together after a while. Hopefully we brought some joy to your Friday night. Again, happy Father's Day to those of you who are the fathers, to the fathers who are not really the father, but stepped into the father role. So those of you who have fathers in heaven who you're not able to celebrate with, happy Father's Day to you as well. To those of you who are expecting fathers, fathers in general, it's a great day to celebrate. And those of you who are celebrating Juneteenth, we hope you guys enjoy yourselves. Party like rock stars, but party safely.
Also, happy Father's Day to those of you who don't know that you're dads. Happy Father's Day to you too.
Okay.
Don't forget about them.
On that note, we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us and everything. Inside the Eagles, check us out every single day on InsideTheEagles.com, IGGLES. Bookmark the website, subscribe to the new YouTube channel that you guys asked us to create. Guys, ask for a YouTube channel. Now you won't subscribe to it. Stop what you're doing. Go to the YouTube channel. Hit some likes, leave some comments. Please ring the bell, subscribe for some updates and things of that nature, and we'll try to keep it popping and we'll keep it interesting. It's been fun. On behalf of my sister from another, Mr. Jackie, and my brother from another, Jake Beckman, we appreciate all of y'all for hanging out with us. You guys make what we do fun. We love y'all. And in the words of the great Don Cornelius, love, peace, and soul. Good night.